Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Malang. I'm going to set up very quickly because the sky is starting to go that twilight red that you know I love to photograph. This is the second outing for me, and Rafi's joined me as well with my injured shoulder. So it's holding up. It's still extremely painful, but the exercises are helping. And if these are in order, last week you would have seen me out and about where I nearly fell. First of all, at Encounter Bay, and secondly, I did actually step into a deep hollow, and with two cameras in my hands, I did jerk my shoulder, and I anticipated that I would probably have to not photograph for another couple of weeks, but luckily enough that's okay. And so we've come to somewhere where it's a bit more gentle. There's a nice grass bank and there's a couple of jetties for us to photograph. So let me set up and try and catch this twilight glow, and let's see what we can create. Yeah, okay, right. I think we may have to move back and twist slightly because we are getting some of the light in from the jetty that's on the far side. And as you see, Rafi's just illuminating the bottom of that jetty for us. I want to get the bottom of that jetty and the grass in, although I may cut it out, but I just need to adjust ourselves and our composition slightly. There we go. That seems a bit better. I'm just going to check that we have that in focus. It's probably easier if I use my torch as I normally do, so I'm just going to pop this out there and then take a focus shot on the light. There we go. Come on, over there. So let's just, that should have focused in on that light, and it looks like it has. Let's collect that light again. Okay. All looks good. I'm going to need to call Rafi over here. Come here, sunshine. And switch his light off a moment. There we go, that's a good boy. I'll play with him in a sec. The one thing I want to check before I shoot, I'm just going to check this polarizer. That takes the glare off the water so that you can see the mud that's underneath, and if I push it this way, it adds the glare. Now, polarizer is usually used to control that glare. In this case, I want it because I want the reflection of those rather moody clouds. So I'm going to throw this back onto manual. Bring the ISO down. To 100, and I think we'll go. We've got to be careful of that band of colour on the horizon, but I think we'll go for 8 minutes, and hopefully that will do us. Yeah, no, I'm quite happy with that. What we're going to do is I'm just going to shift, and then we're going to do the typical jetty shot, which was straight down the guts of the thing, and then of course we'll shoot it from the left hand side too. But no, I'm quite happy with that. Yes, I might need to use a grad, I'm not too sure just yet, but we'll set ourselves up to shoot down this jetty, and then we'll have a think on that as we do. We've actually got a little heron out there. You can see him just taking up residence, looking into that water. So let's set ourselves up looking down this jetty. So it's a pity we can't move that island. If we could shift that island off to the right a bit, it would be perfect. I'm not sure. I think we need to get just a touch higher because the end of this jetty has a couple of posts, and they're just intersecting with that little bit of an island that we've got out there. So I'm going to need to raise up, I believe. That's what I think, just to gain a bit of height. This is where you need a big tripod, and you also need a step ladder. So yeah, let's get down. That's about right. We want all of that in. Let's tilt this down so I can see. Yep. Okay. I'm just going to double check and make sure that was central. Not quite. A tiny bit this way. Camera just slightly. Problem with this jetty is it bends all over the place, so not one part of it is actually straight. There we go. And I'll probably need to focus stack this one. I'm going to come back to around 40 seconds. I'm going to focus here in the foreground. Three shots should do us. Let's shift our composition once more and shoot back this way. Right, for this one I'm actually going to test the water and step into it. Let me just pull this down to a more respectable size. Yeah, so I'm going to check. The bank does fall off quite significantly. Let's give it a how deep is deep and how soft is soft. So let's test it. You stay there. That's fairly solid. That's fairly solid. That'll do us. There we go. Get. Where's your stone? Go get your stone. Let's see how we can do here. Okay, I think I need to step in first. Although it is solid. Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay. This is doable. I think this is going to be purely black and white, and I think I will probably need my filters for this now. So yes, I think I'll take one of 20 seconds just to see how we go. I shouldn't need to focus stack this. I should be able to just at f16 take a shot in the middle of this jetty, and I'm using the two pieces of grass to sort of bookend the jetty itself. That's quite nice. And I think if I put the this up a bit, I might be able to just get that. If you stop still. I know he saw something. Let's see if he stops still for us. The heron just sat on there. So for this, we probably only need a 3-stop. Yep, so we lock our focus. Well, I suspect we'll be able to focus through this 3-stop because it's getting bright enough. Here we go. So it acts like sunglasses, and that allows us to push our exposure up. I'd say it'll give us 2 minutes, but I think I'll only happily do that if I use a grad as well. So it's the 1.2 soft grad, and I'll pop that in on the front. You can see how it really darkens that sky for us, and it just balances the foreground and the and that sky. Now, I'm just looking at this composition, whether we want some of that grass coming in or not. We can possibly do 2, but for the first, that little line coming in just draws your eye in and round, even though it's a tiny amount. So Yeah, it's I think that should, I don't know. Okay, we're just going to go for this. I'm going to add that in, possibly do 2 shots, one with and one without that green bank, just to edge and frame the side. In black and white, I think that'll probably work okay. So let's just go for that, 2 minutes. Let's move this way quickly. Okay, there we go. I'm probably gonna come down to a minute. I'm going to focus here, 1/3 of the way in, and I'm going to go for that. Nice. Whew. What a rush. There comes the sun. It's just going to raise up. So just see it through the reeds. That might give it a nice ethereal glow. And I think I had it high enough to not clip that post that's out there. Sun's rising too fast for us. Oh, don't we wish we could hold it back? Now that I've got the water and this jetty, I may go shorter exposure and catch that sun. Okay, so let's see if we can take that 3-stop off. Really reduce the speed of that. 3 seconds. I'm going to put it up to F22. 3 seconds. Go for that. So you can get a little bit of a Sunstar out there. We have the water beautifully done. I just want the end of that jetty as well, nice and sharp. It's beautifully moody. See if we want to do. I think we'll do one straight down now while the sun is still there, so we'll have to very quickly focus stack. Get the end of the jetty in again. Just before it starts going into those clouds. And I just want to take one more like that at F22. Oh, the sun's in my eyes. I'm going to go down to Second, do that again, and then very quickly I'm going to raise that back up too. Oh, my eyes, I can't see. Just there. And as the sun's going up and out of shot, just before it does, I'm going to take one with my hand over the sun itself. See if we can block out any of that glare. I'm going to, third of the way in, lock the focus there. Do a longer exposure. Come down to F16. Longer exposure. 10 seconds. I want to smooth out that water. So 25 at F18 should do us. There we go. Let's catch that just as the sun is disappearing. Possibly could do a low shot this way and push those posts. What have you done? What have you done? Have you got it? It's a good boy. Yeah, I'm going to do the same as I did over there. I'm going to push myself, drop down on the jetty bank and shoot back. So in this case, my, whoops a daisy, my typical get out super early and shoot hasn't paid off as well as wait for the sun to come up. Your battery went, so I had to replace you, and in the meantime I was still photographing. So I took a long exposure. Oh, hello Raf, having a good time behind you. I took a long exposure focused in the middle of this jetty, and I also took a series of shorter exposures to capture the texture in that sky. I've moved along and positioned this post, as I mentioned earlier on, just to give it some interest. I know it pulls the entire composition off to the left, but no, I think it quite works. I didn't know whether this was going to be 16 by 9 and use the negative space on the right hand side to sort of draw your eye out and through, or whether it was going to be a square cob and sort of, you know, fill the frame with the jetty, this post, and the end of this reedy island out there. So not too sure until I get home and start editing. But yes, so I'm just going to run off a 2-second exposure, a 60-second exposure. Thank you for joining Rafi and I here at Malang. We've had a wonderful time, stress-free, shoulder injury-free. So thank you for joining us here. All it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Till next time, see ya.